Hey everyone, welcome to Seaopolis, and today we're going to get into some automation and refined storage. Oh yeah. I have a little bit of bad news. So I recorded the entire episode and went to edit, and my audio is screwed up. There was static and garbled. I think there was a loose wire somewhere. So I'm redoing this. I have deleted all the stuff we made. The only difference is you're not going to see the quests completed, but that's okay. I'm still going to run through everything. And today we're going to do auto crafting. Before we do that, as you'll see, I do have a lot of vines everywhere. I did a little bit of quote unquote decorating. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it adds a little bit of color to the place. Kind of fits the sea theme if you think of like seaweed or something, you know. All right. So we got compacting drawers. I found out a way to make slime. So what you do is you take your mushrooms, you put them in witch water, and you get slime blocks. It's amazing because slime blocks and refined storage go hand in hand, making these things here, the process binding. We're going to need a lot of those. So that's amazing. So once you guys can get the soul sand, get your mushrooms, then you can get your refined storage going. All right. This thing right here, this cooking pot, you right click it over a campfire, and that gives you the cooking the things. You can make all the things. So if we look at our quests here, you can see it's a cooking pot, and then from there you can make all these guys inside that cooking pot. The only thing I can't do yet is hot cocoa because I need cocoa beans, and for that I need nature essence, which we will get to when we get into mystical agriculture. From there, I actually went and did a bunch of other quests just to get them out of the way. So the machines, almost all of them, except the ender ingot and the ender chests, because I didn't have any ender pearls, and the vacuumulator. Why didn't I do that? Oh yeah, no ender pearls. Now in this one, for the nether, we had done all of this when we made our soul sand and started sifting. The only thing is I didn't get any of the quests because I never picked up a bucket of witch water. So I picked that up and then went through and collected all those. That's kind of neat. So I went through and did all the chapter challenges. This one right here, marble, you just take a bucket of milk, put it in a smeltery, put diorite in a basin, and it makes marble. Now from there, you put it under an igneous extruder with water and lava, and it makes infinite marble. So you really only need to make one. It's kind of neat. Concrete's pretty easy. It's the same standard vanilla recipe, only you can also put it in a fluid encapsulator, which I believe is also one of the quests, and you just put the powder in there and it becomes a concrete. Then we had the cobalt, a stack of cobalt, a stack of red alloy ingots. Then we needed a stack of blue ice. That's why I had the compacting drawer down below. And then we needed a stack of glass, which we got a long time ago. We're just missing these two because we're not into that far into the pack yet. Okay, so let's do the auto crafting. So a lot of the stuff is going to be patterns. So first thing we're going to need to make is this thing here. It's called a crafter. You take the construction core, deconstruction core, advanced processors, and bang, you got one of those. But we're going to need a few of these. 7, 8. 8 should do. And 9. Okay, so that's that. We need a pattern grid, which is a grid with pattern and advanced processor. And then there's the recipe for that one. And I have that all made up. One of the things is the pattern. I already had a stack of these, so it's pretty simple. I didn't figure I needed to craft those. But there's the recipe for that. We can upgrade this. So if we take and put this down, you notice it only has 9 slots, right? Well, if we come in here, we can make an iron crafter, which iron and improved processors. Take that. We look at that one. It's got 20, was that 27? 9 times 3. Math. All right. Then we take our gold one. And then let's see what that gives us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So as you can see, we're adding a lot A lot of processing power, a lot of crafting power, I should say. Adds even more. And then our final one, which is one of the quests, which is a netherite crafter. I'll show you how I got the netherite here in just a second. So we got those guys. And I'm going to put this down here. And what we do is when we make our patterns, we just plop them in here. And to make our patterns, we're going to need one of these crafting grids. The crafting grid is a grid, an advanced processor, and a crafting table. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and dye this one yellow. Oops. We just go like this, and it'll dye the screen. And there is a reason why I'm going to be doing this, and I'll show you in a second. Crafting grid. I just made another crafting grid. And then we need our crafting monitor, which we got here. It's just patterns, a machine casing, improved processor, and quartz. Okay. And I'm going to take and make that, okay, red. Okay. And the colors is just personal preference. Crafting grid there. Crafting monitor there. Pattern grid. I'm going to change the color of the pattern grid. What do we have? Purple? No. Lapis. And red. Make purple. Imagine that. And these are just because I want to color them. You don't have to color them. The reason why I changed these colors, this one right here is going to be our normal JEI synchronized crafting grid, right? This crafting grid here, I'm going to leave on only craftables, and you'll see why in a minute. This here tells us once we're auto crafting something, it'll show the processes in this screen here. This right here is the pattern grid, and this is what we need to make. So we take our patterns. I can type. Okay, we take our patterns and we're going to plop them right there. Now what we need to do, we need to go through and create some recipes. So we need to make that. Okay, and delete that. We need to make this one. And this is all you're going to do. A couple things to keep in mind. When you're making a crafting recipe, you don't want processes to be checked. Processing is for, well, processing. You put stuff in to combine it in furnaces and stuff, machinery. This is strictly crafting. Now this here is exact, so it needs to have the exact items in here to make this recipe. Now, if you're clicking on here and using JEI, you should be fine. However, if you use stuff, say logs, and use oak logs, and it makes you a chest. Well, if you're using dark oak logs, it won't work if you don't have any oak logs in your inventory. So you just unclick exact. At least that's what I got from this. I am brand new for auto crafting, so you know, take it for what it's worth. If anybody knows any better than me, please let me know down in the comments. All right, if you hold shift, you can see your patterns here will change to whatever they are crafted. So we got the gold one. So now we can go here and get the diamond one. Okay. Now we can go ahead and use our basic processor. Now we need to click on redstone furnace is how we're going to cook this. So we click this and now you can see it changes to processing. So we click that. Click, whoop, nope. See, we don't want it to be in a furnace. We want it to be in a redstone furnace. Click that. And again, I don't know if that part matters as far as it gets smelted. I don't know, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, silicone. Silicone is a little different. Now it takes two different kinds of sand. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold shift and you can see how it stops. I'm going to click plus and that's going to make sure it's sand, not red sand. All right. And then these two. I'm going to keep my processes separate. Just for me. Okay, now the construction core is a craft recipe. So is a deconstruction core. Okay. Now we need our quartz iron. Quartz enriched iron. So what we're gonna do is like this, but we're gonna come up here and we're gonna go iron. Now this is another thing. You have to get the recipes correct. So it needs 3 iron, 1 quartz to make 4 quartz enriched iron. So we could do this ourselves, but we would need to have this recipe right. We can put iron ingots because we don't have iron dust. We need the nether quartz, and we're going to tell it it needs to make 4 of these. So that's the pattern. Inputs 3 iron, 1 quartz, output 4 quartz enriched quartz. Okay. So you got to make sure your recipes are right. Okay, so we're going to make a machine casing. Might as well have that as a recipe, but that requires a machine frame. And since we're going to be crafting that, we might as well have the processes as well. So we need the machine frame, which is like another crafting recipe. And we're going to need, no, we got to click over here. Iron plate, which is a process. We click that. I'm not going to go over here. This again, we need the electrum plates, which is another process. That's going to go here. Okay. And we need the gear. Now, this is where I ran into a little bit of issue. And once I get this all set up, I will show you the issue. It has to do with this gear working die right here. All right, so we're going to do that and place that anyway. All right, we got our pattern, or excuse me, our machine frame and our machine casing. So that's done. We made the crafting monitor. Now I want to make patterns for all of these storage drives. This is so I don't have to sit there and click each and every one of these. And I will show you why we want to do this, because we need to make a lot. So that's this one. We need this one. All right. So that's all those. Now, the reason why we're going to do that is in one of these quests, we need to make 16 of the 64K. We've only made 5. And then we also need to make 1 of the 16,384,000 storage drive part. Okay. There's one of the quests. This was the netherite crafter. This was a stack of 64 patterns. Go back in here. Patterns, the pattern grid, the crafter, and a gold crafter were the quests. All right, now we need to make the requester. We're just going to go ahead and make that real quick. So we need the detector, which I have already in this inventory, but just so you can see, that's how it's made. Hit the backspace. We need the crafting upgrades. That's how that's made. And then a machine casing. We're going to go and make this. Now that's the only one I did not make on the first go around in the video. And I'm kind of glad I did it, because now we got the cool epic chapter ending music. All right. So what this does, in fact, let's just go back into the quest here. It keeps a selected item at a certain amount. So I could, from what I understand, you can say, hey, I only want 8 of these. I need 8 of these to be made at all times. Put down there, hit 8, hit save, and it will make sure it has 8 at all times. From what I understand, I'm not going to use this because, like I said, I'm not that good with the auto crafting. So yeah. So all of these are patterns where all of these are processing. You see down there in the blue, it says processing. So all of these are go this way. There we go. So those are all the patterns for the drive parts. And then these guys, I guess they really don't need it doesn't matter what orientation they are in there. Now, the reason why I had this one different is because now you can see we can craft all of this stuff. Whereas if I come over to here, if I were to hit at refined storage, you can see I have some, right? But I don't have these. Now, if you don't have them in your inventory and you're looking on normal mode, if you have them, you're not going to be able to auto craft them. You're not going to be able to craft them until you go clear down the bottom. and you can see all the ones that you don't have. Or you can have a separate screen set up with and have it set to only craftables. So whether you have it or not means you can actually craft it. All right. So I don't think I have enough for this. So I'm going to go ahead and do 6. I had 5 of those. So I only need 10. So I'm going to start that. And you can see I'm missing 151 of the basic processors. I'm missing almost 500 glass, and I'm missing 132 silicon. So we're going to wait on that for a minute. A couple of the other things we're going to need, I don't need that. We need importers, which are going to import. The way to think of these is think of this as your go-to. This is where everything's coming and going from. So your importers, you're importing to the system, and then the exporters, you're exporting out of the system. So if we come down here where I have 2 pulverizers, 2 redstone furnaces, 2 multi-server presses, and 2 induction smelters set up. All right, I forgot to grab my stuff because I had already made these. The only thing I haven't made is the wrench. This wrench we are going to need for turning these guys around. So in order to connect the system to these, we need to place down these crafters next to each machine that we're going to use. Now, as you can tell, they're not facing the right way, so that's where this thing comes in handy. If we were to look at this, it says crafter, right? Now, if we turn it, now it says induction smelter. So that means it's using that machine. Go ahead and turn those around. Oh, good, just one. All right, so let's go into here, and we're going to go in. No, that's not the right. There we go. Importer. Okay, I don't need 33 of these. I just think I need 9. And exporters. I don't need 9 of those, but we'll hang on to those anyway. All right, so what we need is importers here on each one of these machines, because we want to input from the machine to the system. We're also going to need cables. All right, because I need to attach that there. Now these guys don't think need this on there. Yes, they do, because they need to be powered. I think I only need to have one because it needs to be powered, and these will transmit power. Okay, so now what we can do is this induction smelter. Okay, I know that silicon needs to be processed in an induction smelter, so I'll put the silicone pattern in there. These guys here need to be done by redstone furnaces, so we're going to take those there. Actually, we'll do that. We'll put that one in there. Now I have 2 multi-servo presses, and here's where the problem happens. So when I go to craft a gear, it needs a gear working die, which we're going to take out of here, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. There's that, and then this one is plates. It doesn't need a die for it. Okay, that's those guys set up, and let's go up here and I will show you the rest of the problem with the press or the die. I had made another one, so I'm going to take that out as well because I was testing stuff. All right, so if I want to make this, I go to craft 1. It says I'm missing, I have bronze. It's right there. I don't think it likes to interact with the storage drawers or the compacting drawers. But as you can see, it says I'm also missing a gear working die. So if I toss these in here, and if I go here to craft, now it says I have it. However, when I'm just going to put this in here, I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, it says I'm missing 4. I don't understand it. It might be the type of bronze. Thermal. And this is mechanism. So it's the type of bronze that it is. All right, that's good to know. Does this make... So it doesn't like the mechanism bronze. Okay. There we go. We'll use that recipe because that's the one it's using. Go ahead and drop that in there as well. Take that one out. All right. So if we come back up here, come into this one. Now you can see we can craft one. Okay. So it's crafting. Probably crafted by now. Now. Oh yeah, I can make two because I had two. If we do that, we can look at the grid and you can see it's scheduled. Not coming out. On the back, you also need an importer and an exporter on the back of your system in order to get the stuff in and out. Or out. You don't need the importer. My bad. You don't need the importer. You just need the exporter. You pull stuff out of the system and go into your machines. Okay. Says it's scheduled. Why isn't it going? It's connected. Got power. Ah, okay, so there's the problem. So it wasn't doing it because this is here. I do not know how to pull this back out and put it back into the system. It's just going to stay there. That is why it wasn't saying it could do anything, because there was already a press in there. I think that is ridiculous. It should recognize that there is a press in there. All right, so that's all that. And we got that. Pretty cool. Now, let's see. Can we craft any of these? We can craft one. And it's probably already crafted. 64. So now we can craft another one. And it's done. See how fast that is? So if we go 5, we're missing glass. All right, so let's get some glass. Now we can actually set up a process for this too. If we want glass, we can come over here. We can type in glass. This needs to be GEA synced as well. We're going to go to redstone furnace and we want to smelt up regular sand. Okay. Pattern grid. There we go. That's the one I want. So if we type in glass, click here, click redstone furnace, get our regular sand, hold shift, just so we know it's locked into that. And it's a process, and we put that there. And now we can take all this sand, take this back down here, plop this into our crafter, and you can upgrade these too. So you can have as many of patterns in here as you want for that one machine. If you're making something that has multiple steps using one block, one machine. So say you're making a step that requires to use a redstone furnace 5 times. You're going to have to wait until you do, say you were doing a stack, you need to wait until that first step is done for 64 times, and then the second step is done 64 times, and so on and so forth until you get it done. So it's always a good idea to have a couple of these, and you can put multiple, you can split up the processes in each one. All right, so now we come in here, now we can craft glass. We're going to craft 256, and it says, there we go, and it's going to start, and we're going to come over here, we're going to type glass, and you can see, boom, there it goes. It's doing its thing. I'm going to go ahead and, I guess I only needed one. I'm going to go ahead and toss this in here. Now my power is, it's going through the power like crazy right now because of all these processes. Each one of these takes up power. So what I had went back and did is I made some generators, which eats up the power like crazy, or the coal. I made a mechanism battery, which is now empty. To make that, let's see, is called an energy, right? Energy, basic energy cube. So it requires a little bit of mechanism. It requires energy tablet, which you also need these infused alloys, and it requires steel. And I'll show you how we do that. So I made a couple of these metallurgic infusers. So this one here was doing iron and redstone to get your infused alloy. and this was melting down coal for charcoal, and this one was melting down coal and iron to get enriched iron, and then you put the enriched iron in here with the coal and it makes steel. And that's how I did that. Now, how I got the netherite. So the netherite is coming out of here and going over to the red section, the red pipe, and it's going in here, and then it's pumping in gold dust, which I ground down. It has to be gold dust ground down. So gold and netherite gives you netherite powder. Netherite powder then goes into here, and then from there it goes out up to the top. So that is how I set up my netherite. Now this is just temporary for now, so I can get all the stuff I needed for later. And we are almost out of overworld matter again. All these guys are turned off. They were turned off. They're not turned off right now. Let's see. Yep, out of power. Where am I at? So let's go ahead and turn these guys off. I need to make more power. That's going to come back on in a minute. So if we look at wind, because I was looking at these, at the wind, we can make these. We just need more energy tablets, and this is osmium with redstone. So it's super easy to get, which I might do between episodes, because this is unacceptable. I cannot be going through this. I cannot not have access to my stuff. Let's go ahead and grab 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's put some coal in those guys down there. Maybe that'll kickstart it. This should be almost done. And it can't go back up into the system until it has power. That might be a problem. Let's get the power of the sun going on the solar panel out there. All right. We should have power back. Yep. Okay. Put that in there. Put that in there. Put that in there. Okay. So now we can go ahead and look at this. And we have 7. So we need, what do we need? 15? How many do we need? We have 5 out of 16. Okay, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me, I have 2 in my inventory right now. It just says storage parts. Okay. I guess I need them in my inventory. Okay, so we have 2. So we need to make 13 more. And we can make it. So now it's going to sit here and make them. So if we go 64K. Look how this is actually not bad as far as speed. Let's see what is it doing? It's scheduled. Okay, there we go. So it's making the glass, and then it's using the glass, and then we're waiting on the processors. That's going to be scheduled, so it's going to cook up. It's going to make our silicon. It's going to make the basic processors, and it's going to smelt the processors, and it's going to make all the stuff. So that's going to take a while to do, and we still have all this room to put more great stuff and things in there. Sweet. Okay, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I didn't screw up automation too bad. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of how I explained all the ins and outs of doing the automation with refined storage. Like I said, I'm still pretty new at it. If you guys have any tips and tricks, let me know in the comments. It'd be much appreciated. Next time we'll do some mystical agriculture and keep progressing in this pack. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day.
Hey, thanks for hanging out to the end of the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, check out some of my other videos.